Hi everyone, this is going to be a tutorial on how to set up Mecanim to work with AI behaviors. So let's go ahead and take a look at hopefully what will be the final product of this. Let's go ahead and hit play. So we just have a simple idle here. And he's going to start patrolling. He's going to see this capsule, which is a player or an enemy, and then he's just going to make a kind of a mad dash. And it'll eventually end up going back to a regular patrol state. So let's go ahead and stop that. And let's delete him out of here. And let's grab the enemy object, which is under AI behavior demo scene, meshes, enemy, and it'll be the first one. Let's go ahead and drop him in there. You can put him kind of wherever you want. And then let's do AI behavior. And then grab the AI behavior script and drop it onto him. Now this is really important. The root object that the AI behavior script is on needs to be the root of your Mecanim character. Now we already have a animator controller set up here for this particular demo. You'll need to set it up however you prefer to set it up, using some of the we've set this up using some of the basic conventions, namely speed and direction here, to control the forward movement and the turning for the character. Let's see. Another thing to note for this tutorial, we're not actually going to set up the Mecanim controller. That will be left up to however you, the user, want to set that up. Alrighty, so let's go through here. One of the things we're going to need is the Mecanim animator that we've set up. Of course, you can use this as a reference to make your own. Alright, so we have a Mecanim animation. And another thing we're going to need is let's see, we have a Mecanim nav mesh script set up here too. So go ahead and drop that on the enemy. Now this animator right here, you can assign it if you want to, but it'll automatically find the animator component on this this object. Alrighty, let's see what else here. Make sure your speed and direction variables are set correctly. We just use the standard conventions that most people tend to use. Rotation, lerp rate. This is how fast the direction variable will lerp. Minimum distance move threshold is a threshold to each of the navigation points that are calculated from the nav mesh. This, of course, is using Unity's built-in nav mesh. If you're using a third-party system, you're going to have to set it up to accommodate that system. Okay. Next thing is we really don't need all these states. What we're going to do is have an idle, a patrol, And actually for this, out of these states, that's all we're going to use. And then we're going to create a few new ones. We can go ahead and actually, we'll make another patrol state here. And we'll call this one run patrol. And let's create another state, and we'll call this Mecanim attack state. And of course, that's a special version of the attack state that specifically is made for Mecanim. Let's see. Next thing we should probably do is set up the animations. Let's go to our animator just for reference. Now, the way animations are called in Mecanim are the layer that the animation is on, and with a dot, and then the name of the animation. For instance, you can take a look at the transition right here. This is the convention for the animation. So let's go ahead and go to back to our enemy here. Let's type in base layer dot idle. And we'll use crossfade in and crossfade out on another animation. Essentially what this is used for is the animator.crossfade function, similar to the animation.crossfade for the old legacy animation system. We don't want to use that on this because we want to use the built-in transitions for Mecanim for these particular states. Okie dokie. So that one's set up. Let's go ahead and say, open up this new one and say base layer dot walk. And again, same thing. We're going to use the transitions, and let's do base layer dot run. And finally, we're not going to do the jump. We're going to just do the attack here. So let's create base layer dot attack. Okie dokie. Now for the attack, you'll see that there are no transitions going to it. So what we can do is use the new animator.crossfade function, which in this this animation script down here, we automatically handle that for you. Let's see, so you do crossfade in, crossfade out, and the reason for both is because there's no transition going back into these. For instance, if we wanted to take this and say make transition and come back and then set this transition to something like just leave it at exit time, we could do just a crossfade in and it'll automatically come back to idle. So you could ignore the crossfade out checkbox there. But we're not going to do that. So let's just go ahead and delete that and just continue on. Let's close all of these up. And for our idle state, let's open up the animations. And it's by default, it's idle, so we're good there. Let's go ahead and hit patrol and open up animations, and we'll do walk. And by default, these really don't do anything except for when you're dealing with that crossfade from the animations that contain them. So when we set up this attack state and it'll crossfade out, it's going to reference this animation. But while it's in this state, when it's, for instance, when we go from idle to patrol, this animation really doesn't matter because it's going to transition here inside of Mecanim. Let's see. So then let's go to our run patrol. We're going to do run. And the attack state, we're going to do attack. And the attack animate, actually that one doesn't necessarily matter so much, but let's do this one, attack. And while we're in here, let's go ahead and set the reload state to run patrol. So in other words, in this particular case, what's going to happen is it's going to attack 10 times. Once it's reached that 10 times, it's going to go to the reload state. In this case, instead of reloading, we're just going to have him run. Let's see here. Like usual, you should save often. Let's see. So let's go ahead and we need a camera. Let's put a camera into our enemy object just so that we can kind of follow him around inside the scene. So let's do this. Oops, lost it. And let's rotate it and maybe move it back a little more. Maybe, let's see, maybe that's a little too, no, that's probably fine. Okay. And now, let's go ahead and set up our states. So idle, let's just, let's come down here. Let's close out animations and open up triggers, and let's add a new one. Let's just have them wait there. So let's set a timer trigger for maybe about 5 seconds. When that 5 seconds is up, let's have them go to patrol. Let's do a patrol. Go to triggers, add a trigger. And let's say line of sight. So as soon as the player comes into sight, he'll start attacking. And let's do have him go to the attack. Let's also change up this field of view. Maybe make it about 60 for the field of view. Let's see. Okay, we have it set to the run patrol. Let's go to the run patrol state, add a trigger, and let's just put a timer on that. You can set it to whatever you want to. I like to set mine for about 60. I like to watch him run. And then when he's done with that, have him go back to patrol. Okay. So now we are close to done. Let's go ahead and hit play, and we'll actually see that there's going to be some little issues with all of this. Actually, before we do that, let's go to our patrol, and we forgot to set our patrol points, and these ones right there. Save, and yeah, we should probably set a distance threshold on both of these to something a little more than 1. One's kind of small. Okay, let's go ahead and try and hit play on this. and we'll probably see some really weird issues going on here. So you'll see he's kind of going back and forth extremely fast. It's kind of really has some issues. Let's go ahead and hit play on that again. The reason for that is because that direction variable within Mecanim is being set by the rotation on each of these states under the movement properties. So let's go to movement properties, and what we should do, since this is a normalized value, is set that to 1 for each of these. And while we're here on this run patrol, let's set the movement speed to 2, because we're using 2 in this particular animator controller to lerp to the run state. So up 1 more, and we can say 1 on that. Not that it really matters, because the attack state doesn't use movement or rotation, especially under Mecanim. Alrighty, so let's try and hit play again on that. And now you should see he's not just zipping back and forth anymore. And another issue is he's not seeing our little player capsule over there. The little capsule that he walks by is actually this right here, and it has the tag player, and it's on the layer player. We actually want the attack to attack anything tagged with player, but it's not. And the reason for that is because the player has a collider on him, and the collider actually gets in the way of the visibility of him. So what we need to do is the visual obstruction layers. We don't want the player obstructing themselves, so we'll set that to or uncheck player, so the player is no longer obstructing himself. Okay, so now what should happen is he should be able to see him. He does 10 of these animations, and then he should go into his run state, which he isn't. So let's go ahead and try and figure out why that is. Okay. So the reason why is, let's see, is probably because we don't have this script right here. So let's go ahead and let's just use the example attack script. Alrighty. And we need a projectile. We have one in here. It's called projectile. And we need a launch point weapon. Okay, so let's go ahead and create a game object and call it launch point. Go back to our scene view. Oops. Have it out here and maybe about here. It's about centered on him. So let's go ahead and let's maybe get it out just a little more. Go back here and make sure we assign our launch point. Yep, there we go. And now attack method will be the example attack component. And we want the ranged attack on this particular script. Alrighty, let's see if that fixes our problem. Alright, now he's shooting projectiles. And yep, that was what the issue was. And now he takes off running, because that's his reload state. And he should be going for probably about, well, we set it to 60 seconds, and then he'd go back to his run. I'm not going to have it play all the way through. It's kind of maybe a little bit of a waste of time. Oh, that's a little bug right there. It's probably because we did not set the one of these distances far enough. Maybe this one, or no, I take that back. Patrol point distances. Okay. Let's save on that, and let's actually, it's probably not this one. Most likely it's the patrol distances. Set that to 10. These points are pretty spread out, so 10 is not that bad for this particular example. Okay, goes into his attack state, and then he should take off running and clear all that. Let's take a look at why there's an issue here. One more thing that actually should be addressed is you can put a character controller on your character so he won't go through walls. Let's see. But we will go through each one of these points and find out exactly why he isn't. Okay, gizmos. Okay. Let's try setting this a little bit higher. There we go. That must have been the issue. And this is another issue right here, is if you don't have a character controller, he's just going to keep going at the same, on the same plane, which is possibly our other issue. So let's go ahead and add a character controller to him, and that should keep him a little more on the ground. You still may want to add another script that applies gravity to him, especially on this ramp over here. The character does tend to not fall fast enough and hovers a little bit. That's beyond the scope of this. But you can do that if you'd like. Let's go ahead and finally let's set this to 10 also, and just save the scene. Obviously, you could get quite a bit more advanced on this if you wanted to, but that is going to be the scope of this tutorial. So anyway, hope you have fun with the new Mecanim integration into AI behaviors. And probably one last note is just a reminder that pretty much everything in AI behaviors is very loosely coupled. For instance, this Mecanim animation script, you can make your own script and attach it to the your AI object, and as long as it has the appropriate callbacks, it should work just fine. These scripts are, especially this Mecanim animation script, is not that complex. The navmesh path script is a little more complex, but if it's not really working for you the way you'd like, you could just make your own copy of it and use yours instead of this one. It's really up to you. Same thing with attack components, just about anything on here. So anyway, hope you have fun with this and enjoy. Bye.